All right, man. So today we're going to be talking about the recent balance changes as well as the ones that came before those. So, we got a few shooting guard buffs before the balance changes that we just got inside of this update. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about the ones that I feel impacted the game the absolute most. So we're not going to talk about all of them because we've already basically talked about them. But the ones that didn't really impact the game are not going to be included inside this video. Like, you think about the Mary change. Yes, she's certainly significantly better than she was before. But then this patch came out, and now she's basically pushed back down to being the worst shooting guard in the entire game. So let's go ahead and get to reading. So first we're going to be talking about the change to pull up level 4. So at first it was like 20%. That was 1 in 5. So it got buffed by 5%. So you might be thinking, Dream, it's only 5%. What you complaining about, bro? You complaining about nothing. 5% is nothing. It's measly. Well, if you consider the fact that just taking it up by that measly 5% takes it from a 1 in 5 chance to a 1 in 4 chance, you start to see where I'm coming from, because I would much rather them have a 1 in 5 chance to get a wide open shot while they're contested than a 1 in 4 chance. It's just too big of a difference if we're being honest. And Marcus, Friedman, and Martin all have access to a level 4 pull-up, and all three of them are getting this to activate way more than it used to, and it's activating way more than it should. Now, I'm happy that they decided to switch up the meta. I'm glad we're back inside of a shooting-based meta, and dunkers can actually still compete inside that meta, but it's just not fair having 25% chance to ignore all disturbance. So yeah, Raccoon Digi, please nerf this back down to 20%. That's where it needs to be. That's where it was fair. Now we're going to be talking about David. So David's defense for a shot was removed for a step back shot, and we all know that the jump stop shot change was added. So they removed the wide open and they decided to switch it to disturbance a few updates ago. And remember, we said we were going to be including that stuff as well. So all of this stuff, what did it do for David? It made him even more unpredictable, right? So you have to guess if he's going to do a jump stop shot off his flash dribbles, or if he's going to go into a step back shot, because those double step backs on David are very deadly. You compare it to Randy, it simply just does not compare, because David has the flash dribble, which boosts his mobility. He doesn't have to deal with that hesitation animation before the flash dribble. He doesn't have to deal with the pause from the pinpoint pass on the flash dribbles anymore, ever since the last update came out. So yeah, David in a really good spot right now. He has always been a character that was like right there in the middle of being good and bad, but now he's definitely leaning more towards the good side, because it is extremely difficult to guard a David who understands how to use a step back shot and jump stop shot psychology. Very difficult. I've had them on my team. I've played against them. I have not used him because I don't have him on any of my accounts right now, but definitely enjoying seeing him do his thing. So now we're going to be talking about Albert's rework. His floater was changed to smart layup, and he also got a level 4 specific pass. Now the level 4 isn't a rework. I just wanted to include that because it just gives so much extra accuracy on the specific pass. It is absolutely ridiculous. Then he has the bounce pass. It's just so much extra accuracy for Albert, bro. And you really can't compare him to May, because May is so garbage. Why is May so garbage, Raccoon Digi? You're buffing all the characters who are already decent, and all the characters who are absolute garbage are still absolute garbage, with the exception of Aumi, which is who we're talking about next. So Aumi got a rework as well. Her stealing dive and intercepting dive were both merged into one ability. And what did that do for Aumi? It created another slot for her to have a brand spanking new ability inside of her kit. It's not brand new to the game, but it's brand new to Aumi, and that ability is sidestep shot. So what does this do for Aumi? It makes it so that she can actually be a little bit more viable on offense. So back then you had to play her like a pass back small forward. You had to get the ball, throw up a pump fake, run away, get the ball, throw up a pump fake, run away. It was just like a small forward, but she had no disturbance resistance. She had no extra accuracy outside of a steal boost, and that was only for 18 seconds. And it's not really that easy to get a steal inside this game, if we're being honest. Sometimes it's difficult to rip a big mic with 6 or 7 swipes, and then other times you'll get it in 1 or 2. Very annoying system. But Aumi, very mobile. I've been seeing people do those sidestep shots off of sliding dives, because her sliding distance is extremely far in comparison to the other point guards. So yeah, man, Aumi in a really good spot right now. Highly recommended you pick her up as a two-way player if you like to use those. So next we're going to be talking about Takami. Takami's dribbling pass was changed to Inspire. Now I don't really know how to feel about this change, if we're being honest, because the dribbling pass was a pinpoint pass. So he had an infinite range pass inside of his kit, but now that it is gone, is right back to being Nana. They can do a pinpoint pass, and the Inspire, it's okay. I mean, for what it's meant to do, it is a good ability. But the thing that makes it bad, so we're gonna compare it to Fire King's full charge. So Fire King, he takes 6 shots. He doesn't have to make them. As long as he doesn't get blocked, he's going to be getting 15% extra accuracy outside the 3-point line. Now, let's compare that to Takami. Takumi's Inspire will also be given 15% extra accuracy, but you have to rely on getting ankle breakers. So that means you have to rely on your defender making mistakes in order for you to get that accuracy boost. And it is not easy to get defenders to make mistakes and get their ankle snatched in higher elo. Like, I'm in Diamond 3 right now, and I'm struggling to get ankle snatches. I'll get like maybe 1 or 2 a game, but it's very difficult to get 3 because they will freeze and they will freeze and they will freeze just to avoid giving you the ankle breaker, and then they just wait until you shoot and they mark it. Takumi needs some kind of disturbance resistance or something inside of his kit because it doesn't really make much sense the way that he plays. He needs some type of disturbance resistance. So the second thing I want to mention with Takumi is that his crossover bug was fixed. You're probably thinking, what bug, Dream? There was never a bug. Well, when we talked about the crossover inside the Takumi breakdown video, I was telling y'all that you can't do a step back after just tapping the crossover button once. So you know you got 2 crossover animations. You got the one where you just do the regular crossover, and then you got the one where you do a crossover into a crossover step back. So back then you could only do the fancy stepping back after you do the double tap crossover into a step back, but now you can do it after just a single tap crossover. You can go into a step back, and it certainly helps because I'll do things like do a fancy stepping back, then I'll go into a 1-tap crossover and then into a step back, and they never really expect you to do 2 step backs in a row like that. So yeah, man, test it out, try it out, and see how it works for you, because I've been definitely seeing more success with that being fixed. All right, so now I want to give my opinion on Rika. A few people have asked about my opinion on her, and my opinion on Rika is she's okay. Right, she doesn't feel too much further away from someone like Amanda, and it's not just because of the jump stop shot. It's just because she doesn't have any mobility inside of her kit, and the only thing she has that's actually new to the game is a fingertip block. You may be thinking, Dream, fingertip block is nice. What's wrong with fingertip block? So if that Emma or Vanessa or Daisuke or Big Mike or even like a Nikolai or a Rocket is near you when you actually get that fingertip block, there's a chance that they might actually snatch that and it'll still be a turnover. So what's the point of this ability? I don't really understand the point of this ability. Why couldn't it just be a grab and block or a variation of it? Like Amanda has the mighty grab and block, and then you got Alto with a variation of the grab and block as well. I think it's called like a quick grab and block or something. I'm not completely sure what it's called. I don't use him. I'm gonna have to go look at it later on. But yeah, I don't really understand the point of fingertip block. It doesn't actually help as much because she has to she gets the block. She has to hope that she grabs it out the air. It's just a pointless ability. I don't understand the purpose of it. So yeah, these are my opinions on the changes that we've had, the most controversial ones anyway, and the ones that kind of broke the game for some of these characters. And one thing I forgot to mention was Nana's level 4 pinpoint pass. I just feel like it is so disrespectful to the other passing point guards. Well, not passing point guards, but the other point guards that can actually score with scoring abilities outside the 3-point line. Someone like Jackie, right? Someone like Justin, who also has the turn back shoot, which is a shooting ability that can be used outside the 3-point line when used properly. And get you some wide open shots. If they're too far away, they jump early on the first tap, and then you hit them with a turn back shoot. They will not be able to stop it if they jump too early. And he doesn't have a pinpoint pass though. Some people are like, oh, Justin has a shot pass that can go further than a regular pass, but it can be intercepted. That's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid those Nico players. We want to avoid those Justin players, those Aumi players, those White players. We want to stop them from intercepting our long-range passes. That is what we want, and we cannot rely on the bounce pass on long-range passes. So yeah, Nana gets a level 4 pinpoint. Jackie still has a level nothing pinpoint. Justin still has a level nothing pinpoint. And any other scoring point guard that decides to add to the game, like Lily, has a level nothing pinpoint. I don't understand why Lily at least could not get a pinpoint pass. They're not giving pinpoint pass to any of the other point guards that can actually score outside the 3, unless it's someone like Albert, because he specializes in passes, but he doesn't have a drift 3. He doesn't have a fadeaway 3. He does not have a turn back shoot. And you also think about Yui. She can also shoot 3s, but she also specializes in passing the ball. So I'm not understanding why Nana gets a pinpoint pass and then she gets a level 4 pinpoint pass and no one else gets it. It just makes no sense. And then they just took away Takumi's pinpoint pass in the same update that they gave her a level 4. And I'm gonna say this a million more times before I die. Doesn't make any sense. Please give them a pinpoint pass, Raccoon Digi. So all right, man, we're gonna wrap this video up. Y'all want to see more of this? Go ahead and drop a like, sub to the channel, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, man.